Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ashley, and we're Chat Roulette, where we roll and then chat.
Every episode, we talk about a new topic, and that topic is decided on a roll of a d20 and our rolling list of topics.
Today's topic is advice. So let's roll.
That's not what it sounds like.
Yeah. So today, well, first and foremost, this is actually our first actual
Real
podcast.
episode.
Fully
Right.
for the public, not for the privates.
It's for
Well-
you.
Unless it's for your privates, then it's okay.
Okay.
Pants grab.
Some of these questions could get into it, so
I mean, that's what we're here for, I
But
guess.
we should probably introduce ourselves to the public, right?
sure, yeah.
So,
Hi.
hi. We did introduce our names. So, I'm Rachel,
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ashley.
and this is Chat Roulette, where we literally roll for every topic that we do each week.
Yeah.
And what's the point of this podcast, guys? What is the point?
The point is to talk to our friends
So true.
And you, fellow viewer.
who is soon to be friends
Yeah.
Mayhap.
about random stuff that we would talk about anyway in our regular lives.
Yeah.
That would just come up and we would share with each other or just ask to talk. And
Yeah.
so now we're like, let's do it for ourselves, but in a public way to have like a creative outlet and all that.
I love a good creative outlet. Yeah. This
And-
really was born out of creativity.
Yeah. We're
Yep.
big nerds. We talk about popular culture or some other stuff. And
Mhm,
we also like RPGs. So we figured we'd do some tabletop dice stuff to just spice it up. And that's how this was birthed.
Yeah, we're
Not
bad at
born,
making
birthed.
we're bad at making decisions, so we said let the dice do it for us.
Yeah.
Truly the best decision we
What
made.
you're
What do you want to
truly-
do next week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What
the
you're
dice
truly
knows.
watching and listening to is three gays just not being able to make any type of decision
Yeah.
for your entertainment.
The classic, I don't know, millennial, Gen Z, lack
Let's
of
not put a label
decision-making.
on it.
We're just indecisive,
We're
I
just,
mean, that's true.
and
as you can tell by our
panicking.
labeling.
So true. I'm like, do I label it like this or do I label it like
Can't even
something-
make that choice.
Nope.
Yep, truly.
Choices. Nah. Let fate be our decider.
Yeah,
Force me into a decision. Dice.
truly that.
Praise the dice.
All hail the dice. You'll
All
see the
hail.
dice cam later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we're talking about advice. We had an advice pod, which is a fun
Yeah.
first episode.
We rolled on our rolling table of topics. Our editor person can put it somewhere on the screen.
Shout out Meep.
We
Shout
call
out the Meep.
Our editor's name is Meep.
Mr. Epic editor person.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have a table that you can put somewhere, editor. And it changes every week as we roll a new topic, so there'll be new stuff added. But we rolled what was the number?
5.
A 5, which means that we're doing the advice pod today, which
Mhm.
means we've all compiled a couple stories on Reddit. And we're gonna be giving our advice, whether it be good or bad, it's up to you, and ourselves.
How well situated do you feel to give advice?
Not at all.
Good.
I mean, full transparency. I'm like, I'm going to give unhinged just takes, and they're not going to be good. I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm probably going to have to backtrack it.
Unless
Unless it's a good take, which
they're good takes.
it's possible.
You know what? I think I am capable of giving advice, but I really try and keep it as neutral as possible. It's
Yeah.
like, take it or
Yeah.
fucking leave it. I don't really care.
I feel like I'm good at giving advice. I feel like I'm really bad at taking advice.
Ooh, interesting.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I also am like, I actually probably am good at doing advice. Doing it. I'm doing advice.
Yeah, it's a verb.
But like, I don't know. I'm just like, I just want to be real with people.
Yeah.
And be like, this is how I would react. Period.
Get to the heart of the matter.
Period.
Have fun with it.
Also,
I am an academic advisor, so I'll say that. I can give advice, whether you take it or
Academically.
not. Academically.
academically, I'm like, I got the spice.
Hey, you never know what's going to pop up in these stories.
True.
So,
I also want to point out to our viewers at home, if you'd like to see our first actual inaugural podcast, it'll be on our Patreon, I think.
Yeah.
Based on our conversations,
we
it's gonna be on
basically
Patreon.
did like a session 0. So, feel
Yeah.
free to check out Patreon. I'm
It's
sure
in the-
we'll plug that shamelessly later.
As
It's
other
a bit of a
peop-
mess,
As
which is
other
great.
people would say on the internet, it's in the doobly-doo or in the description down below.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
Whatever your favorite creator says.
Yeah.
Also, our
We
link
said
tree.
that.
Oh, our link tree probably also in the iCard, up in the right corner.
Who knows? It's
This one of
somewhere. You
these.
can go find it on your phone or computer or wherever the
Go
hell
check
you're
it out.
watching or listening to this podcast. Anyways, continuing.
Advice.
Advice.
All right.
sure
do
have
we
some.
Who wants to go first? Should we roll for it?
Let's roll for it.
Let's roll for
We're
it.
chronically bad at decisions.
All right. So we all have like what 2 or 3 3 or 4 stories
Yeah.
actually. I'm going to be rolling for all of my stories, but I want to see who goes first.
Okay, if
so.
it's a 4, then
well,
roll
we're gonna
again.
what I thought we were going to do a d6.
Do a D6.
That, a D6 is a better
So
choice.
we'll do a d6 and I forget the numbers, but we have the table.
We'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sure. Great.
Perfect. Okay. Rolling. We're
This
rolling
one
right
seems
now.
fun.
That's heavy. Oh my god.
A 1.
Have
Me?
fun.
You
Okay.
go first.
It's Rachel's
All right,
turn.
let me decide. While I'm pulling this up, have a conversation. What are you excited? I mean, I gave the titles of mine.
Yeah, we did
Earlier.
share the titles so that way we didn't like use the same story.
Yeah.
That
But-
we did.
I don't remember them because I'm bad at remembering.
Well, yeah.
So,
Well, there was also just random story titles, so it's hard to
yeah, they
remember
were all
those.
pretty random.
Yeah.
I of course put all of my links in a document.
Very good.
Incredible.
Okay, so I'll run through. I'll run through and let you know the titles, and you two can choose which one I read
I
first.
say we just roll for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Here,
3.
let me give you a D4.
Do a D6 because the top 3 are my favorites, and the 4th one is just kind of filler if we don't get to it. Maybe it's part of the Patreon.
Oh yeah, we'll do D6s and have
okay.
some for the Patreon.
Yep. Oh, I did it.
5.
It's a 5.
5. Okay.
You rolled 2 5s in a row.
This one's a fun one. Okay, let me. I want to open it, please.
I
Okay.
have my listening ears on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? Whew, this is a spicy one. My fiance thinks he's a talented screenplay writer, and he's going to be rich and famous.
Is this about me?
Is this about Ben Shapiro?
I think it's all about.
It's all the above. Yeah.
It's all of the above. Okay. I need advice. I'm worried about my future with this person. We have been together for 3 years and have 1 child together. He has been writing movie scripts.
Is it actually in quotes?
Yes, it is
Okay.
actually in quotes. He has been, quote unquote, writing movie scripts for 14 years. 14 years.
That's a long time.
I've been very supportive. I've bought him books on how to write scripts. I bought a nice desk and put it in the basement with a lamp, plant, paper, pens, pencils, and a laptop.
How nice.
He said the basement was too dark, so I moved it upstairs in front of a big window. He always seems to get mad. And blame everyone for not finishing one script. He says he's the most talented writer in the world, and then he has stories no one has ever heard of. ... Great stories.
Great stories.
I've read what he has managed to write, and it's beyond terrible. His stories are also copies of movies he has seen.
Good.
It's sad because he has a lot of talent as a contractor and could start a successful business, but his dream is writing. When is it enough? I don't want to tell him the truth and be a dream killer. Oh, I forgot the sentence. Well, he's been quote unquote writing a movie scripts for 14 years. Well, not even a full script. 2 pages in 14 years.
That doesn't continue. I have thoughts.
Yeah,
Um,
we have thoughts and we should see.
That's the end of the thing. It's
Oh,
like,
okay.
when is enough? I don't want to tell him the truth and be a dream killer.
So to clarify, in 14 years, he's written 2 pages.
Correct.
Wow.
So he's never
2 full pages.
2 full pages.
Uh-huh. According to this person. I'm gonna pull
That's a
up
lot.
because there's like updates in this comment. This person comments a lot,
Okay.
but I want to hear your hot takes.
Yeah,
first.
let's give our opinion first before we get into like what has been really said in
Yeah.
the recesses of Reddit.
Let's-
Yeah, go for it.
There's a lot of things that like if you have a dream, like I am a person that like supports people in that, but also there is a point where you need to be really realistic, and it does not seem after 14 years and only 2 pages that this person is getting the return that they're wanting, which is really unfortunate, and that's going to be a really tough conversation. I think the best way that this partner can support their husband would really just be from a realistic standpoint and just be like, I am really concerned for your well-being, and whether or not this is going to be worth it for the time and energy that you've already exhausted. There's a lot just with a screenplay that you have to think about, and 2 pages after that is gonna, that just doesn't seem worth it to me after 14 years. So I don't really understand where this guy is like kind of going with it, but that's a tough conversation to have. So I would try and gear it towards more of a state of concern and be like, you've devoted so much time and energy into this, like, is it worth it to you still? And if it is, great, but you should probably start thinking of a backup plan. And I have this conversation with students of mine all the time, because they're like, oh yeah, I want to get into the major that I want, or I want to get into this internship. And it's just, you need to have a backup plan, because there's always the chance that shit hits the fan or stuff doesn't go your way, because that's life, and the universe just, that's how
like
the
that.
world works.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Bo Burnham.
yeah, shout out to Bo Burnham. Yeah, that's a really tough conversation, but you should definitely have it.
Yeah.
The part that baffles me is 14 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's like,
And 2 pages is what blows my mind. That can't be accurate.
No.
Well, and he also keeps getting mad about it.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The first and biggest, like the most liked comment is, he's written 2 pages in 14 years. And then a bunch of people are like, you don't understand. It's the best script in the history of scripts, maybe ever. And OP, the original poster, says, yes. That is 2 pages.
So
in
2
14
pages
font
in
size 1.
well, 2
single
pages in screenwriting is nothing.
That's fair. Yeah.
2 pages is, so you estimate around a minute per page.
Yeah, because you
So-
have experience with film
Yeah,
school.
I did film school and I did screenwriting, working out great. And that's just kind of like your baseline measurement. It's not always accurate, because like some scenes are more like descriptive or more detailed,
for
right?
sure.
Or sometimes there's more dialogue, which might take more time. Just depends on how you do it. But the structure of a screenplay, if he's following screenplay format, I can't imagine that he is, and all of that. 2 pages is nothing. So I don't understand how for 14 years you can like excuse yourself to your writing den consistently, it seems, and have nothing to show for it. So I think this feels like an aspirational wanting to have something to be known for, or like to be proud of, but not actually doing anything about it. So I agree. I think with things like that, with like creative endeavors, or really any endeavor, having a support system is really important to that. But also trusting that support system will like be encouraging but realistic with you is key. Like, I did a lot of writing in college, a lot of, editing, production stuff, and the natural flow of that is criticism follows. Like that is a part of it. It's workshopping. It's how you do it, and you have to get used to it. But you also have to be open to it. And if you're not actually producing and you're not doing that, and then you're not also open to the feedback, then yikes, it's never going to get better, because no one just starts and is amazing and
it takes time.
does it right away. Yeah, it's a skill.
Period.
Yeah, and like, even if you come to like that conversation and you want to be more of that support system, you could possibly look into like ventures that will support him in his goal if he's still wanting to stick with it. It's like, hey, you should go do this like writers club or
Take a
whatever.
class.
Take a class.
Well, and that's the
go
tea.
for it.
That's the tea. Some commenters are like, oh yeah, go take a class, go take the time. Some people, this is one of the more top comments, not the most top, but I scrolled down a little bit. This person says, I'm cringing on your behalf from over here. He will learn soon enough when he writes scripts, if he ever finishes them. When his scripts are rejected or ignored by anyone he sends them to. You might encourage him to take a screenwriting class where someone can objectively tell him he's bad.
Yeah,
And
there's those things, and there's
yeah.
also like resources online where you can screenwriters will submit screenplays to be evaluated by professional evaluators, which is hit or miss, but like it'll give you honest feedback and like a score, but also it needs to be completed to matter.
That's
Well,
fair.
and that's when the OP responds to that comment. OP is like super responsive.
Loves
here.
Reddit.
Loves Reddit. Is a Redditor. And you go to their profile and it's like a ton of stuff. And she says, thank you. He says he's too talented for a screenwriting class. And then they were saying, oh, ew, is he narcissistic about other things in his life? He sounds awful. Quote, I am the best drywalled guy in town.
Wow.
And then OP says, very, everything. I love him, but yes, it gets old. He thinks he's the best at everything. He's always right. Best looking, strongest, smartest, etc. And they say, oh, girlfriend, you just need to get away from this guy in general. He has zero self-awareness and he's going to inflict that on your child. Imagine how much better your life would be without having to listen to this nonsense.
I don't know if we really need to go that far.
Right.
Unless it is affecting the relationship. In that case, you may want to like consider maybe finding some other supports for your relationship, like therapy or just some other outlets that can help him feel supportive. Because, you know, that shouldn't fall all solely on a partner. That just seems rough.
I also think that, like, don't know their story, obviously, but if, like, they're making the post about the screenwriting being a problem, if that's the only problem that comes with, like, the ego and is, like, maybe it's charming in some other ways. Maybe they're just like, oh, I know I'm the strongest and the best looking. Like, it could be that kind of thing where, you know, maybe they take it seriously, but she probably thinks that, too. It's like, oh, he is the most handsome person in the world. He probably, and, like, he is very strong and...
Yeah, you never
all
know.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like that's like I think like a partner thing where it's like, oh yeah, like I think that about them.
Well, here's the tea. Somebody she says, "Oh, you're right," to that comment where it's like, "Oh, you need to get out."
Oh, jeez.
And then the person comments again saying, "Easier said than done, but obviously your frustration is more about his is more than just his writing. Don't marry him." The husband. So it's already said and done. I know it's hard to think about when you have a baby, but or they may, I don't know if they're husband and wife anymore. I don't, did it say fiance at the beginning?
No, it was
can scroll
husband.
up.
I'm pretty sure they're married.
Fiance. Okay.
Fiance.
So they were about to be married. Sorry, I'm burpy right now.
Can't wait for the burp
Okay.
episode.
It's gonna happen. Easier said than done, but obviously your frustration is more than just his writing. Don't marry him. I know that's hard to think about when you have a baby, but he will make you both miserable. He sounds like a nightmare to live with. And she says, yes, he can be. We fight a lot.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
Red flag.
That's a separate post, I think.
That's a whole separate post.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
A whole therapy session in and of itself.
Yeah. So a lot of things there.
That seems
But
like
it's
a
like-
very sticky web.
Who would have thunk that that could have...
seen part of it.
Let's see. She posts a lot about a lot of different things.
But yeah, to be together for 14 years and also not feel like you can.
There's got to be a reason that
hers.
I don't
He's
think
stuck
they've
around,
been. I don't think
though.
they've been together for 14 years. I think that's just. I mean,
Oh,
that
that's
could be
fair.
the case.
but he's working on this project. For
But he's
14.
been working on his screenplay for 14 years.
According to him, he's written the best ones ever.
So true. Here, let's see what other comments.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's
Support
like
your partners.
spicy.
Support your partners.
Constructive criticism.
That's my first one.
Be realistic in your goals.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
what
and
we've
if
learned
you
today.
can't write a screenplay in 14 years, you either need to reevaluate what your time is going.
Yeah,
Or-
it may not be like a completed one, but yeah, you should be able to finish a draft in 14 years.
Yeah, everything's
At
got
least.
a cost benefit analysis.
And it's like maybe different if it's like a concept like map of like
That's fair.
Sure.
this is what my story will look like. But if it's a screenplay or a script, it's got to be longer than two pages if you're going to make it an actual thing.
If you want a full length movie, yeah,
Yeah, that thing is probably hundreds of pages.
Maybe
if
it's
not
a
you
more.
need at least
film.
a tight 90.
Truly.
Yep.
Anyway,
Tight.
It's a very short film. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a micro doc. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
there
know,
you go.
it could be 2 minutes is a lot to cram into.
could be.
So that's my first one.
Cool. All right.
Who's going next? Roll the dice.
Are we rolling the dice? Well, what if it lands on you again?
Well, I'm just leave me out.
You're
of it.
eliminated. I'm 1 through 3. You're 4 through 6.
All right.
2. That's me.
Which one? Oh, do you need another roll?
Yeah, you can roll it again if you want.
Oh yeah. Do you need a D6 or D4?
D6 is fine.
1.
Cool. Okay, so also from Reddit, shout out. Title of this one is "Am I the asshole for demanding my girlfriend tells me her author's pen name?"
Okay.
So, OP, I, male 32, have been dating Shaban, it's a fake name, female 32, for 6 months now. She's always been very vague about what she does for a living, saying things like writing and working from home. But recently, one of her friends mentioned something, and I finally dragged it out of her. She's an author. She writes and self-published romance and erotica stories and novels, and while not rich, she's able to make a living out of it. I Googled her name and couldn't find anything, so I confronted her about this. She said she's writing under a pen name, so I demanded she give it to me so I know what she does. She refuses, saying she doesn't want it to be leaked even by accident and no one knows. I accused her of not trusting me, and she still refused, which was really annoying. I tried nicer approach and told her that I want to know her fantasies so I can try it out with her, and she told me that what she writes aren't her fantasies but her readers, and she's still not going to tell me. At night, I tried to check her laptop for her pen name, but she changed her password before bed. I was annoyed and told her clearly she doesn't trust me and it's not fair because I have a right to know what she writes, especially since it's a sensitive topic and I don't know her, or I don't know if I don't know her pen name. She was furious and I tried to look on her laptop and told me to go home. Before leaving, I told her when she calls to apologize, I expect to get her pen name with the apology. She called me an asshole on my way out. I thought she'd call by now, but she hasn't. My sister told me I was the asshole and I should apologize, but I just don't see it and need a second opinion. Were they the asshole?
Jesus Christ, yes. You're a fucking dick.
I feel like
No.
I have an opinion here, but I want
This
you to share.
guy's a dick. Literally, she wants to keep it private. Like, I'm pissed for her. Like, I get it. You want to know. But he kept being like, I have the right to know. And that's just not accurate. That just purely is not accurate at all. Like, it is her information. It is like, yes, it's like you should have a conversation, I feel like, surrounding the stories if they involve stuff that you've done with her. Like, that might feel uncomfortable.
If you're writing like truer things.
It's like, I fucking boned my boyfriend so hard and I wrote about it and it's now in a book. Like, that I would want to have a conversation about. But, like, also, it's, like, beyond multiple screens of anonymity. That's the word.
You got it.
That, like, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Like for him. It matters for her because, like, she's a woman in the she's a woman in the writing space.
In the field.
And she's talking about, like, explicit acts and X, Y, and Z. And, like, you don't know what she is and isn't comfortable disclosing to other people. And if she discloses that to you, other people are going to be like, well, I have the right too because I've been her best friend of 12 years. Or, like, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just throw that in her face. And that's not fair to them either. So it's like, you decided an ultimatum of, like, you better apologize. Was the right move? No, bestie. Come on. That's some bullshit.
I personally think everyone's the asshole in this situation. And it's mainly the origin of the whole conversation was just based on levels of trust. So I'm really curious, did they say how long they've been together at all or no?
Let me look.
Because this partner is quite literally probably just curious of what they do. Because, if they're anything like most partners, you want to talk to people about it, what they fucking do for a living.
Yeah, but, like, she did.
And say, oh, how was work? Oh, but also, obviously she goes by a pen name, but, like, he didn't even know about that beforehand. She wouldn't say a fucking word.
She said that she writes and she works from home.
Yes.
But she didn't give specifics. Yeah, the content probably would be a good piece of information. I don't think she's perfect in that regard.
And that's what I think the boyfriend, I think it is. I don't want to, like, misgender people, but I think the boyfriend in the beginning very innocently just wanted to know a little bit more about what they did, like what his girlfriend did. And so he was, I'm assuming, just wanting that level of trust with the girlfriend who was not willing to do that. And so, like, that seems like a red flag for me in the beginning. Just be like, okay, do you just not trust me with that information? And I feel like that would have been a more constructive conversation. But then the reaction of, no, I'm just not going to give you shit, like, at all, no information whatsoever, I get can be a response of, like, protecting yourself. Because, like, if you're doing anything as a woman in the field, there's definitely some setbacks just depending on what it may be. But still, like, you have a partner who I'm sure in all intentions is just wanting to support you. So, like, you can at least throw a dog a bone. So, like, in that point, the girlfriend is a bit of an asshole. But the rest of it, the overreaction of the boyfriend far surpasses the
Disgusting.
girlfriend's.
Delete it.
choices.
Disgusting. Bleh. That's
Yeah.
how I feel about the boyfriend's
Definitely
reaction.
an ultimatum.
Totally hear you
Yeah.
with the like expectations and like understanding of what she does could have been nice. I think you didn't find the how
There was
long.
nothing.
That's
yeah.
Okay. So I think that context might be helpful because if it was like
Yeah.
early enough in the relationship where it's like they haven't gotten to the nitty gritty stuff,
Mhm.
then ultimately that doesn't matter. But if it's like we've been
dating
together
for
a
several
year,
years
yeah,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's like we've
Could
been
change.
together since the dawn of time. Then
Whoa.
Wow.
imagine
Adam and Eve.
an
Yeah.
icon. But yeah, like I'm not sure where
Yeah.
that would be there.
I think it
more
depends.
information.
Yeah, it also depends too. Like, I mean, I would also be curious, but they didn't say any more about like
Yeah.
what types of stories are they writing? Because
Sure.
like there could be a large stigma attached to that. Like
That's
she
very
could also be
true.
writing under like a male name
Mhm,
and
that's what I was
writing
thinking.
romance that is specifically tailored. Like she said, she's writing to her audience's fantasies.
What
That's
audience is
wide
that?
open,
Yeah.
right? Like what
Yeah.
they could
Are
be
you
into
writing
some.
furry fan fiction?
Right.
I like.
There's
at
a lot of
least
money in it.
Throw a dog a bone. Like in
Yeah.
that case, it's just like, hey,
Rough.
There's yeah, but it's the thing. It's like there's this stigma.
I have.
anyways, continue.
But yeah, but there could be a lot of stigma around what they're writing is what I'm getting at. And it's
Yeah.
like it could
Yeah.
be a thing that they don't want to talk about, even though it's like this is how I make my money, this is how I do my thing, and like
Yeah.
that's cool, but not always something you want to share with people.
Yeah, and like, I get the point of like, if her niche is very specific enough, I'm sure you could look it up. It's like, oh, I go by a male pseudonym and I write furry fan fiction. There's only so many people that probably do that, so you could probably find it.
On a scale enough to get paid for it. Yeah.
But you can still skirt the line of just giving at least a little bit more information to your partner if you
Yeah.
trust them enough. And so, like, it does say certain things if you don't give them that information, but it also says other things if you give them too much. So, I don't know. It's a really hard line that this girlfriend's trying to skirt. And I don't envy them for that at all. But also,
It's hard out here.
it'd be hard.
It's hard out
So-
here in the streets.
That's a rough, sticky situation, and I'm glad I'm not in it because I'm single as a Pringle. So
Yeah.
And you're not out there, as far as I know, writing erotic fiction.
you don't know.
That's why I
Maybe
said
I
as far as I
would-
know.
What's our
pen
advice
name.
for this person?
For the
For the
guy,
boyfriend?
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Chill
mean,
the hell out,
Like-
my guy.
Like
Chill.
you're not owed anything, and if it bothers you
period.
that much that you don't know, then
You
you're
need
probably not in
to-
the right position anyway.
Especially given that he had given an ultimatum. You need to take that shit out of here. Get that energy out of the house.
I think if you give an ultimatum, you got to be prepared for the bad side of the ultimatum to come through.
Exactly.
Like
She's not gonna apologize. If she does apologize, wow. Like
that takes a lot of just inner strength.
yeah,
not even that. It's like, wow, that guy was manipulative enough to be like, I need an apology. I don't like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that. It's gross. It's gross.
Could make her
feeling.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Period.
And at that point, is it worth staying? I don't know. We'll find out if they ever give updates on Reddit.
we're looking for updates. That one was posted like yesterday, so
Okay.
Yesterday?
we'll see. Yeah.
See, mine was all of mine are like a year old.
Oh no, that was recent.
All right. Am I doing mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm rolling a d4 because I only have 4 stories, and then the 4th one will just be saved for Patreon.
Perfect. 4.
4. All right. This is from r/Ask Women Advice.
Oh,
Mhm.
ask when.
Most of
Women.
my other stories are from r/Need Advice, but this one is specifically for women. But I'm sure you can put your take on it as well.
Even though I am the peak of masculinity, I will do my best.
Yeah.
To,
I feel like you can relate to this story somewhat.
Sure.
So this is why I picked it. Okay. What should I keep in my cabinet for women friends that come over? I'm a guy, 40 male, and my husband, 37 male, and I keep multiple packages of Plan B at our place in case a friend needs last minute help or can't afford it on their own, etc. We've done this for a few years as it becomes more possible that it could be harder in the future for folks to obtain. It's always a no question asked thing. I've realized recently that we should expand our supply to cover things as needed. Say we're having a game night and somebody needed a tampon. I should have that, right? Thing is, there seems to be so many options, like tampons and pads, and there are so many brands. We're a gay couple and haven't had to think about it too much in detail in the past. what would you imagine to be helpful if you were at a friend's place? Anything besides tampons and pads? And are there any good default products or brands you should get?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are there things beyond tamp?
I'm just breaking the stigma that periods are an issue.
I
'cause they're
mean,
really
maybe
not.
like some like, what's the? It's not ibuprofen, but like not ibuprofen.
Motrin.
Motrin would be a good one to just
Mhm.
have because you never know when those cramps are gonna come in full force.
Truly.
Heating pads. Heating pads would be
Yeah,
such
those
a
don't
good
have to
thing.
go in the bathroom.
No, but, like,
like
it might be
have a heated
helpful.
blanket or like a heating pad just like in the linen closet or something.
Mhm.
That'd be nice.
Because I
I have a really bad back, so
I have
like
a
a woman could be
story
like,
around this.
I have back pain.
I have a story around
I have
this.
back pain.
Does anybody want a story?
Go for it, bestie.
Okay, so as you all know, but the viewers may or may not know, I was in an a cappella group throughout my college years, my undergraduate years, and it was an all treble group, but mostly women. We tried to be gender inclusive with our language, but the struggle was like always trying to find a room to practice in because you're singing and that shit's loud.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have like the room reserving process kind of was difficult. You had to do it week by week, and it was like one of the most stressful pieces of my job as like president. And there would be occasionally a few times where I was like, I don't have a room. We got to figure it out. And during the latter parts of my years, I was in a very large apartment, like 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, really big. Like you've been in there, like high vaulted ceilings.
Really
And I
good
was
space.
like, really good space. And it was like anywhere from like 12 to 18 people in this group. And I was like, well, we're just going to have rehearsal at my place sometimes.
Sure.
And there was this one time where that was happening, and I don't know what it was, for whatever reason. We were all synced up, and multiple girls were like, I am on my period. And I was like, ah. And I was like, that sucks. I'm like, do you need anything? They're like, I have major cramps right now. I need a heating pad. Well, didn't have one. So I was like, you know what I do know how to make? Hot towels. So I like, you all know my tea towel shit where I'm like,
Always have a tea towel.
tea towels are great. And so I soaked them and like wrung them out so they weren't super sopping wet. And then you throw them in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time. And throughout this rehearsal, like multiple times, like maybe 5 times throughout an hour rehearsal, I was rotating towels into the microwave to heat them up for 30 seconds and then giving them to the people who needed them so that they could get hot pads. But it's like it really helps, but the thing is that is not super effective because it doesn't retain heat well.
Yeah.
So it's just like us singing and being like, oh, and then it's like the microwave going
Trying to harmonize.
Yeah, it was great.
It's your constant drone.
Yeah.
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 So maybe not in the bathroom, but a hot pad really could come in clutch sometimes if somebody's really trying to participate, but they can't because cramps. Cramps be bad, you know?
I don't.
Well, I know
But
you
I
know.
believe.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Ashley knows.
Yeah.
Cramps suck.
I always think flushable wipes are always good because
Mm.
when she comes, you don't know how much she's gonna come for. Like, it's just rough. So flushable wipes, definitely very helpful if you want to keep your bathroom clean. And also a trash can with a lid, because it's always very embarrassing whenever I see a trash can that's just out and open. It's like, you're gonna see all of those fun things later. And like, I could wrap it up in toilet paper, but like,
Not only see, you might smell them.
true.
And that's the worst. It's like, ugh. Maybe like some like generic underwear. Like if you really want to go all out.
If you really want to go all out, yeah, maybe
some-
get some like Think underwear. That's just like in
Ooh,
general
yeah.
sizes.
Not sponsored.
Think's underwear, if you're not aware, is period underwear, where you can just wear it without needing a pad or anything. 'Cause
Nice.
It's very absorbent and it's really nice. I don't have that specific brand, but I do have period underwear, which are great. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, some women may not use it, need it. Like I use a Diva cup, so like I don't need it.
Could be covered.
Yep, I'm covered
be
for
covered.
hours. Very long time.
I think it's a good thing just to ask your friends
Yeah.
sometimes too. Especially if they're like,
destigmatize periods because they're a normal bodily function.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
literally no
Like,
control over
truly.
that.
I was a teacher for several years, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite years, shout out, wasn't a year I taught all girls. Like it just happened to work out that way.
Hell
Like
yeah.
like I took a new
awesome.
position, and they said, hey, we're gonna have you teach these classes. I was an English teacher, and so like your English classes are gonna be all girls, and I was like, sick. And so like I'm very comfortable and open about
Sure.
bodies and things that go on with them and all that stuff. But they were 13 years old.
Yeah.
And so it's new and
It's
it's
uncomfortable.
not happening. It is happening. It's starting. It's
Yeah.
not. It's, all those things. And so I had to be very upfront with them at the beginning. I was like, listen, I'm not a hard ass. Like I'm here to help and support you. Like if you need to leave for whatever reason, just say so. Like you don't have to tell me why. I don't need to know the why. If you want to tell me why, that's fine. It's not going to bother me. But like, I remember several times in class, students would be like talking about it or whispering about it, and then be like, sorry, you don't. And I'm like, you're so fine. Like, you're okay. Like, if you need
Yeah.
to talk to your friend about like, getting a tampon or whatever,
Yeah. Just
do
talk.
it. And then just say, hey, I need to go. And cool, go do your thing. Like, it's so cool. But it's just a good practice, I think, agree to like just destigmatize like the,
Yeah, because it
weirdness
happens
around it.
to a lot of people.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a normal bodily function for some people
Yep.
to have every month, or maybe not every month, because it can be irregular, or
Yep.
it could be on birth control, or any other reason. But like, when Shark Week comes, it shouldn't be as stressful
It's
as
here.
many people make it out to
There's
be.
blood in the water.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I don't want to be out for blood.
truly.
Maybe a little bit.
So yeah, that's my story.
Only in certain
There were
situations.
definitely some recommendations that people have said.
Yeah, I want to hear what the people said.
This is the top comment. I just need to say how lovely you guys are. Teach your straight male friends what you learn here.
Period.
If you can. For tampons and pads, regular unscented is always a safe bet.
Mhm.
True. Scented is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd get both tampons and pads since many women have different preferences and each is better for a different kind of emergency.
Yep.
Regular is usually noted on the box or bag, and usually it's colored yellow. Regular size will hold just about any woman over until she can get home or to the store. Not for me, bestie, but that's fine.
Yep.
Try and get tampons with plastic applicators.
Yes. Don't give me that cardboard shit.
But honestly, regular tampon will do. Tampax, get rid of your cardboard shits. It hurts.
Yeah.
It's painful.
And
Just
not even
do it.
that. Not even that. Sometimes I'm like, is this just gonna dissolve?
That's
And
fair.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's disgusting.
We know what cardboard does. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
It's like paper.
Great.
It's papery.
It's like a paper straw, which like shout out to paper straws, but like you know what they do.
Yeah, they dissolve in water.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm not sticking it up there for
not
that
great.
long, but it's any amount of time is enough.
Yeah.
As for other stuff, over-the-counter medicine will always be nice to have on hand for anybody. Tylenol, Advil, Midol, Pepto-Bismol, Tums. Those are all good for a little kit, maybe in a cute basket with a note card that says, please take if needed. Oh, and get a trash can with a hinged lid so
Yep.
that the guests can use things without everyone who knows in the bathroom knowing what's being used. It's also great for used tampons and pads because that shit stinks.
True.
As I say this as a lady, and it can't go down the toilet. It absolutely cannot. Do not
No.
plug your toilet. Also, I always keep a container of baby wipes or hygiene wipes on the back of my toilet. Some poops and periods are too messy for toilet paper.
Truly. And they're
lid-
correlated.
Truly.
I've had a long conversation with
Dude,
women.
a period poop
It's different.
hits different.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're different consistencies.
I'm
from
sure.
Regular poop. It's
Because your hormones are all whack. and
mine
you're
just
like,
slide
Your
right
diet changes too, so like there's a lot of
Your
factors going
craving,
into
yeah,
it.
because
Oh,
cravings
it's
and
true.
stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Cravings.
Yep.
I forget about the cravings.
Yeah, that lidded trash bin is always nice for these too, as you may want to a little note card sign that says, "Please use, but don't always flush." Okay, that's pretty much it. for
Shout out to those
comments.
guys who are buying Plan B though.
Yeah, that's
Plan B.
crazy.
It's expensive.
That shit's like $50+
Yeah.
Also-
minimum.
Also bold because that assumes that people are having sex in your house.
Well, yeah, or just like to give away, like I think too, in case you're like worried about it.
That's cool though.
Not like I don't think it would be like a.
I mean, I'm glad that they're very
Mm.
sex positive in that way.
No, agreed. I'm just
But,
like,
Yeah, I do think
wild.
it'd be. I think I agree because it's not typically that they're
Yeah.
probably like waking up being like, oh no, I need to take Plan B. But I feel like
Right.
it'd be nice to be like, oh, I don't want to go to the pharmacy
random pharmacist
and
who
like
doesn't know
talk to
my
that
life.
person who may judge you for doing so.
That's true.
Where it's like, you know, that your friends have done it. And so like, I've done that for before. Like in college, I had a roommate and she asked if I would go with her to like at least be there.
nice.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we drove and we did the thing and bought it and it was fine. But it's still, there's like the looks that are, you know, either happening or you're imagining happening or all that. So it's a lot. So like, shout out to them for doing that. Again, that's a big financial take for anybody, but
Yeah.
it's nice. It's a good gesture.
It's very,
Very
nice.
true.
It's very kind.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Any other advice for them?
No, listen to your friends.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends.
I think maybe you should expand it to not just uterus havers. I think you should also maybe consider.
Maybe have some condoms.
Yeah.
Sure.
Throw some condoms in there. Or some. What other things could they maybe provide for the penis havers in the chat?
we're too simple.
The flushable wipes enough?
Those are nice.
Yeah.
I don't trust flushable wipes too much.
You
but-
don't?
No, I think they're bad for your plumbing systems.
If you
I mean,
use too
yeah,
many,
if you
yeah.
use
But
too
every
many.
once in a while.
But like.
No, I think that's a nice gesture for anybody.
But
Just,
if they have the hinged lid, then you could potentially. I don't know.
Mm.
That's still kind of gross.
But
yeah.
that's also
My advice for that is get a bidet, and then
Ooh.
A bidet
that
would just be phenomenal.
game changing
Yeah.
for everyone.
If you don't want to do a trash can and flushable wipe combo, get a bidet.
I think
bidet.
everyone should have a bidet.
And
I think
then-
when
Me
they
too.
start making houses again, as if they're not right now, they should just come installed.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Europe, who's been doing it for
We've been
a long
considering
time.
getting one.
Oh yeah, I think about it all the time.
Dad wants
I-
one.
Dad wants one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Dad's wanted a bidet for a while.
Had one at my vacation house this summer. It wasn't
We
mine.
should
We
look into
rented a place.
install-
It wasn't my vacation
I'm
house.
just saying, if
Vacation
I can
mode.
install a new toilet seat, I can install a new bidet.
Oh yeah, they're
Pretty
not hard.
cheap, just like the ones that you.
You can buy like a $20
attach-
one, yeah.
The attached bidet.
I just
I'm adding a bidet later.
I've
to
seen
our
some-
Amazon wish list.
Hey,
incredible.
Alexa.
I'm just like also like it would be kind of fun to like sit on it in the cold nights and it's warm.
Oh, you'd have to get a temperature adjusted one. It would cost a little bit more, but
Excuse me.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Here, I'll respond.
Very good. All right.
Great.
That's it. Sorry, we had to burp.
All right. Next
That's the
story.
burp
Do we just want
signals.
to keep going around?
Yeah.
Sure, and just keep that order going.
All right.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want me to
yeah,
roll?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harlequins on a
What
roll.
dice am I rolling for you?
Either a D6 or D4 will work.
Choose your favorite. 3.
3. Sorry, I had to use the Wayback Machine on this one because it's that spicy. Got removed from one
Whoa.
of the. I know.
Spicy.
I
Reddit, why you
know.
gotta be removing
Okay.
so much shit?
The mods be wildin'.
I mean, sometimes, not always.
Did you know that like a
Okay.
vast majority of like subreddits are modded by like the same like 28 people?
Really?
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Interesting.
It's nuts. A little
Okay.
problematic in some cases.
So, I'm accepting the cookies. Chill out. Okay. How can I, 27 female, get my boyfriend, 31 male, of 2 years to stop digging his tunnel?
You don't, first of all. End of sentence.
No.
Let him
Well,
dig.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
So I know this is a weird question, but my boyfriend likes to spend a lot of his free time digging a tunnel on some property that he inherited. I haven't seen the full extent of it, but the last I saw it was remarkably deep under the surface. He spent roughly a year on it, and it's evident. The front of the thing is deep, wide, and well put together. At the front, which is the only part I have seen, he's got cement beams, electric lights, even chairs, and a small table. I haven't gone into it, but it looks like the quality severely dropped as the tunnel went further, mostly becoming open dirt with some wood beams holding it up. My biggest concern is his safety. I'm really worried that he's going to dig too deep and it'll collapse on him or something. I've tried voicing this concern to him, but he just laughs it off and assures me that he'll be fine. Aside from safety concerns, there's also the fact that he doesn't really have a social life because of this thing. I'm pretty much the only person he still talks to outside of his job, and he doesn't go out and do anything anymore. It used to be that he'd occasionally head out to do digging on the weekends, but now he spends almost all of his free time out there. He still comes home, but he barely spends any time with me, and I know that he isn't doing anything but digging that damn hole in the ground. This can't be good for his mental health, but I don't know how to convince him to stop. He's actually really happy when he comes back from digging, which is why I haven't seriously tried to stop him before. But I was talking to a friend about him, and she told me he might be going crazy. Obviously, I don't think he's insane, but I hadn't considered the mental health aspect of this, and I just don't know what to do. TLDR, boyfriend spends all of his time digging a tunnel, and I'm worried for both his physical and mental health.
How do you feel about digging holes?
You know, it
I've
sure is an
watched-
activity.
I've watched Holes featuring Shia LaBeouf.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Fantastic book.
Mm-hmm.
True. I have read that book.
When they spelled his name forwards and backwards, lost my mind.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Stanley Yelnats.
Oh,
And that's how
yes.
Zero discovers that it belongs to the thing, the treasure belongs to Stanley or whatever, or the Yelnats family.
I remember now.
Yeah. I like digging holes.
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
Okay.
In general?
Yeah, I don't believe in a lot of like biologically ingrained facets of humanity or being a guy, but I think digging holes is one of them that I do agree with.
Huh.
Did you ever like go to a beach and you just want to dig a hole?
No.
Yeah, because it's sand and it's pliable.
Well, what is dirt but different sand? It's just
Fair.
other sand.
But different sand.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know why, but I think it's fascinating. Like I remember growing up and it would like I grew up in Indiana and so it would like snow profusely, mountains of snow. Not as bad as other places, I'm sure, but like I remember making like tunnels through the snow system as a child. Like
That's sick.
going under things and like building it up and doing stuff and like trying to slide through and go under and stuff.
I am not a scientist. I want to clarify that before
Sure.
my next statement. Do you think it's because we evolved from some level of burrowing species?
No.
Okay.
I just think it's neat.
Okay. Also, side note, do you remember, Ashley, when we were kids, we would have like, playground time, and there was a point where we were at a playground with sand. We had multiple playgrounds in
Sure.
our lifetime.
Yeah, as you do.
And the one thing we did when we were wanting to dig is we'd get two people, one on each side, and then you dig under until your hands meet, and then you make a little land bridge.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Right.
And you're like, wow, this is architecture.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
I remember
at
that
all.
vividly.
But I challenge you to go to any beach in the world, walk up and down the
Not dig.
coastline, and not see a
Somebody
guy
buried in the
or a
sand.
group of guys digging a hole.
Yeah, or like putting a tent on top of it and
Yeah.
having their own structure.
Yep.
Or people making sandcastles. Hello, that's
Digging's fun.
digging.
Do you think that's like, okay, then a different side note, do you think that's more of like humans wanting to make things?
No, I just think it's cool to dig.
Okay.
Like I think it
I'm
literally is
just
just
curious.
like
If
it's like
you were
it's
a
like
Pokemon, you'd be Diglett.
yeah, it's like throw
Dig.
trio. Can I? It's like can I throw a big rock in water, make big splash? Absolutely, very
Yes.
fun. Do enjoy.
Impulsive thought.
Can I dig big hole in ground and just sit in it for a second? Yeah,
Okay.
that's just it's
But
it's there.
how do we help this partner, this wife?
I don't think he needs much help.
I don't.
okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yes. But however, she does have this concern, so like she should bring it up.
The safety concern is where I was like,
Safety-
ooh, big red flag. Yeah, make sure he's safe.
safety, like yes, and like I think if you have multiple people that can also agree with you, maybe that can help kind of bridge this disconnect for like the husband. But safety is one conversation, but now she's also concerned about his mental health. And
I feel like it's unfounded.
I don't want to invalidate her feelings on his mental health, but I also don't want to invalidate whatever he may be feeling. And so I think they should have a conversation about it, but I think that if they do have a conversation, it might alleviate her concern.
Yeah,
Because if he's feeling good, then great.
right.
Like,
She said he's really happy when he comes back from digging his hole,
yeah.
his tunnel.
His
Sorry,
tunnel.
sorry, it's your tunnel.
It's different.
There's
It has
So yeah,
utility.
but I guess my
Yeah.
point is that just I think there are, I think because it said the concern is coming from like a friend, right? Like the friend was like, what about the mental health? And
She is
they should get out
always-
and see people.
The way
and,
she described it is she was always concerned about his safety,
Mhm.
but the mental health stuff didn't come until the friend was
Her
like,
friend brought
he's
it up.
insane.
Okay, what?
I
Because
think.
that's how I thought I heard
Yeah.
it.
That's what it sounded like.
I don't know. I just think that that's a little bit of projection on the friend's part. Like they
Sure.
couldn't spend all their time alone just digging a tunnel. Like that to them would be torturous. They want to go out and see friends. They'd want to go with
Sure.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But some people don't need that. And
Some
if
people are social beings.
Yeah.
And some people would rather just be alone. for
if
the
that's his
rest of their
favorite
lives,
wind
that's
down
fine.
activity, like if digging a tunnel after the day isn't one thing he looks forward to, then like
Great.
great.
Good for you.
Should he give up some of his time to make sure that his
Maybe his
partner is
friend, his
happy
wife
and
is
everything is taken
happy?
care of? Yes,
Yeah.
and he might. But like, if that's where it starts to become a problem, then like, okay, that's an issue.
That
But
could be also another separate
Yeah.
conversation of like,
Mhm.
I'm concerned about your safety. I'm concerned about your mental health. Are you okay? If so, great. But hey, I'm your wife, and I also need attention.
what if we
And
didn't do
just,
this
like,
every day?
To be social, because I'm
Yeah.
sure the wife, if she's got friends, is somewhat of a social being.
Certainly.
I'm not going to say she's an introverted or extroverted.
Also, they're not
'cause I
they're
barely
not
know this
married. To
person.
be clear,
The wife? Oh,
they are not married.
what's
They're boyfriend girlfriend.
boyfriend, girlfriend? I'm sorry.
But still, it's important to note that because it's like that could be relationship damaging if they're not spending enough time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Now-
what if the girlfriend wants to be?
Then
the
that's a
wife?
compromise that needs
It's
to be
like,
talked through,
that's-
right? Like,
We
that's-
need to find a middle ground here.
So
on top of this tunnel.
so true.
True.
Or halfway in, halfway out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she
So
said.
somebody asks, why is he digging the tunnel? Is it like a survivalist thing, like a bunker? I feel like he's building the tunnel. I feel like why he's building the tunnel will be important when considering how you might approach him, taking a break from it or chilling out a little bit. OP says, I think he's just doing it to have fun. As far as I know, there isn't a real goal in mind. He just enjoys the process of digging. Do you want the full update?
He just like dig
Yeah.
tunnel.
Okay.
Of course I want a fucking update.
So here's the full update. I had to go into the Wayback Machine because this got removed.
Sure.
Update. How I, 27 female, get my boyfriend, 31 male, of 2 years to stop digging his tunnel update. All right. So I've spoken with my boyfriend after a good long chat, and I can successfully say mission accomplished. I sat him down when he came home Thursday night and seriously voiced my concerns, both about his safety and our relationship. He hadn't realized how big of an effect this had on having me in regards, he hadn't realized how big of an effect this had been having on me in regards to our relationship, and he immediately said that he was going to cut the time he spent out there in half.
Okay.
He said that we could spend the entire weekend together, and we pretty much did. Friday night was spent at home, and we went out to a nice dinner Saturday night after spending the day together. We were going to have a nice, lazy Sunday together, but I could tell that he was getting kind of antsy after and almost nervous after church today. So I told him that he could go ahead and go to his tunnel early if he wanted to. I won't lie, I was kind of hoping that he would stay home, but he decided to go back out, which is all right by me. I also talked to him about my concerns regarding gases that y'all made me realize I should be conscious of. Because some commenters were like, hey, like, if he's digging in there, like, he could be tapping into some natural gases that are not healthy for him. Like, safety there is important.
Science.
So she's like, yeah, science that I am
Isn't
not
the
aware
Earth
of.
cool?
Pretty cool.
It's not lame. It's pretty cool. I've talked to him about my concerns regarding gases that y'all made me realize I should be conscious of, and he said he'd work to get some sort of ventilation system installed ASAP, so that he'd even dig with Dad's old gas mask if it'd make me feel better.
Aw, that's really sweet.
She could buy him a canary.
Oh,
Cute.
That'd be
name
really
it tunnel. The only thing that I didn't bring up was us maybe going to therapy about it, mainly because he said he'd cut back, and I didn't want to push the issue too far. I think that he could maybe benefit from it, but he's of the opinion that you only go to therapy if there's something wrong with you, and I don't want him to think that I'm saying there's something wrong with him. So, all in all, maybe I should have brought that up, but I'm definitely happy about how things turned out, so thanks to everybody that came and gave me advice. Also, a lot of people were asking why he digs the tunnels, and while I'd asked him before, I just asked again, and his answer was, it's just pleasant. When I'm down there, I feel safe and calm, and I'm always happier when I leave than when I went in. TLDR, we had a good chat, and he's going to cut back on his tunneling.
That's really sweet. See, they did find a middle ground.
Yeah. He found an underground. Then they found a middle ground.
So true.
He found a middle ground underground.
Underground.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just like dig tunnel.
He dig tunnel, and
He just like dig.
He say diglet dig.
He does. He love it, and I'm
Yeah.
happy for him.
Yeah. I'm glad that.
But also do go to therapy. Like it's just a good.
yes.
Yeah.
Like not anything wrong with you. It's just nice to be in couples therapy.
I think
and,
that will be a
talk it
future
out.
conversation if she feels like this will continue to be more of a concern for her.
Mhm.
While they did find an underground middle ground, if it continues, she has some, it seems some
Yeah.
backup options if she needs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's my takeaway
wholesome.
advice to this lovely woman. Number 1, bring up the therapy and frame it in a way where you are not the problem, my guy. And number 2, get a canary.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got to have a canary
Gotta
if you're
have a
digging
canary.
tunnel.
Yeah, come on now.
That's 101.
Yeah, gases.
Gas is 101.
Gases.
Gas 101.
He farts in the tunnel. And
He probably
dies.
does.
True.
That shit can be noxious.
Mm.
All right, that's story number 2 from me.
I'm sticking with it.
All right,
Your
Bessie.
turn? Or
Sure.
you want me to go?
Let's
Are we rolling?
yeah, we'll roll for hours and then
All right.
go from there.
1 through 3.
4, 5, 6. 2. That's me.
The dice said, "Let's keep with the order."
Yeah.
The dice said, not chaos.
No chaos. Get the
Um,
dice.
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Continue. Okay, so the title of this one is "How do I tell my friend why people aren't going to his workout class?"
Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
And they preface it with, "This would be legitimately funny if he wasn't so bummed out about it."
Oh.
So- Okay, after a lot of hard work, my friend became a personal trainer and yoga instructor, and he got a great job at a gym hosting several classes and giving private lessons. So proud of him. Been to a few of his yoga classes and loved them. He's consistently gotten great reviews. He got assigned a version of spin class on Sunday afternoons. This is a peak class that's really popular, so he was absolutely thrilled. However, after the first couple of classes, attendance dropped significantly. No one left feedback, so he wasn't sure why, but after 3 weeks of dropping numbers, he was super down. I attended for support and suddenly understood why. The first song that came on was Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus. I was digging it. It was surprisingly fun beat to cycle to and sing along with. The rhythm was great and I felt the energy. The second song, Party in the USA. I thought it was a mistake, but my friend's face lit up and said, "This time, really try to embrace the party."
Okay.
The third song finally had a cool beat and I was really into it until I realized it was just a remix of, you guessed it, Party in the USA. Different versions of the song played for the remainder of the class.
Jesus Christ.
Perhaps this is a good time to mention that my friend is an immigrant. When he naturalized, we played the song and he walked into a party and he flipped his shit. He danced to it over and over and has loved Miley dearly ever since. So no, this isn't just a song to him. It signaled the end of a very difficult immigration process.
Okay.
After class, he asked me what I thought, and I said sincerely that it was a great workout. I was about to suggest the music, and he said, "I worked so hard on the playlist, too." He went off about how he really wanted to share that side of him with the class and wanted to create a theme. He called the class a bright spot during a hard time he's been going through because it helps him be grateful and brings up beautiful memories. He went on for so long, I didn't have the heart to tell him that repetitive music was kind of annoying. I also don't do spin, and I didn't know if that's a normal to build a theme. I was thinking of maybe making an alternative playlist or Miley blend that comes back to that song. I really don't want to hurt this sweet man's feelings, but he's going to get the damn class pulled if someone doesn't tell him. I realized the answer is just tell him, but the look on his face made me so sad.
That is so tough. But also change up the playlist. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole because I
mean,
truly care for this guy.
Yes.
But like, damn.
Well, and I feel like it can be a pretty easy fix. But it does need to be approached with a certain level of care.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just be like, your playlist choice does not dictate your work ethic in this class. However, if we want to attract more people, maybe, some people may not even be a fan of Miley herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, cool, Party in the USA, but, like, maybe we put some other songs in there just so that way we can attract more people of maybe some different audiences. So, like, that can be a pretty easy conversation to have, but it can be hard to broach if, they have a specific reaction after that. So, I think it's time to just be a little honest, but also, like, very much preface the fact that, like, again, a choice in a playlist does not, define a person's character or work ethic as they have been building to instruct more classes at this gym. But, like, hot damn, I could not stand.
Well, also, it's like he wants to establish a theme. There are so many other ways he could integrate that into a theme. Maybe instead of the entire playlist being Miley, he plays that song once every week. That's more manageable. Or, like they suggested, a blend, like maybe the theme of the class, if it gets shifted to Monday or something like that, it's like Monday with Miley. And it's just Miley tracks the entire
Miley
time.
Monday.
Miley Monday or something. Like, I don't know. You make it up. But, like, there's a way to integrate the two where you still honor his, like, his journey with this song that he really dearly cares for, but also honors the fact that he wants people to come and probably to make more money that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like if you frame it in the right way, the conversation could go very easy.
I think another thing to realize is that he can do whatever he wants, obviously,
True.
like whatever. But like, I think when you are hosting a class for people, it needs to be for the people.
That's very
and like
true.
this feels like this is my personal journey about my thing, and that's great.
That can be very inspiring.
And I'm
as
sure,
well,
I'm sure there's a great way, and I'm sure people would resonate if they like knew the story. But like also, they're paying X amount of dollars or whatever currency to come to this spin class for an hour, presumably. It needs to be about them a little bit. They need to want to come back. They need to want to be engaged. And not everyone is like me and listens to like the same 2 albums on repeat for 6 months at a time before moving on. And they want the variety. They need the switch up and the change, because otherwise it's like you get so in your head about stuff. So it needs, I think that's a conversation about just from like a business standpoint, as like a personal trainer and like that's like you need to like switch it up for your clients and make sure that like they are getting what they want and need.
It's just like if you were giving like a workout regimen for a person, you're not going to want to do something that works for you.
Yep.
Like, you're going to want to do something that meets their goals. Like, I want to lose X amount of pounds, or like, I want to build my strength here.
I want my quads to be fucking stronger than
I'm trying to bounce a quarter off this dump truck ass.
That's
like,
what
it's
truly.
like,
Truly.
So yeah, like you can also like kind of allude or make that analogy to them and just be like, hey, like, yes, your playlist is like awesome, but like this isn't really geared to the audience that you're really wanting to cater to. And so like maybe use that in a different space, or maybe use that as a personal thing.
Yep.
But some people don't need Miley all the time.
I think he could also, I don't know, I'm not in the space much, but I feel like it's pretty common these days also for like fitness people to also have like some level of social media presence as a form of marketing. And it's like, upload your custom Miley thing to YouTube, like have your own online moment.
Great.
And like, if like, it sounds like great meme potential, honestly, to just have Party in the USA on loop for an hour and like this person just like shouting and inspiring people over it. Like, that's a good video to me.
And like, you could, if he
Would
did
you watch
that,
that entire thing?
I would listen to
Honestly-
it for sure.
honestly-
Like, that's my STEMI work hours. hour repeat.
It's Yuri on Ice.
It's your on Ice theme song by Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
Okay. For context for the viewers, what tell them about Yuri on Ice.
Yuri on Ice is an anime that came out 2016 or so. It is about figure skating, male figure skating, and it's a love story, and it's very good, and it's a lot of tension and stuff. Anyway, the theme song slaps unapologetically, and I love it a lot, and it's just very good when I need to work music. I put it on repeat for an hour and get an hour's worth of work done just by listening to History Maker over and over again.
It is a very good song.
I would play it for us, but
We don't have the rights.
we don't have the rights.
True. Listen to it on your own.
Yeah.
In the USA.
Alexa, put on the Yuri on Ice theme. Hey Google,
No,
put
stop
on
it.
the
Stop
Yuri
it.
on Ice theme.
Stop it.
Sora, put on
Sora
Yuri on Ice.
Yeah.
from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
There he is. You're welcome.
Remind me. So yeah, I think what you all said is the best advice. It's just like you gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta prep them for it and
Yeah.
like think about how to say it.
Also, I'm just thinking about that experience of like just an hour full of Miley Cyrus. And I've been there, but not just one song. But also, I think what you said could be really compelling, where, hey, seems like this Reddit story could blow up. And like, if that's the case and your person changes it up and does something like Brandon said, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna post that experience is gonna live asynchronously on YouTube or whatever.
Yep.
Put it on the Reddit post. I guarantee you there's people who are ready to like watch that either as a meme, ironically, or unironically, to watch that and do a workout. And that's another avenue you can explore.
If Party in the USA 10-hour edition doesn't already exist on YouTube, I'd be so surprised.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that he described it as it's Party in the USA, but remixed. I'm like, I want that. Where it's just like you hear the
Different
same
remixes.
thing, but it's different. A
Yeah.
little bit different every time
Yeah.
for 10 hours.
So Party in the USA, but different genres. I want a lo-fi
Ooh.
Party
Yeah.
in the USA.
I want a
a metal.
I want
Party in the
Absolutely.
USA.
I want
That'd
a,
be cool. I'd do that.
I want a like symphony orchestra
Mhm.
Beethoven.
Classical Party in the USA.
I put
Yeah.
my heart.
Operatic version. of
Very
it.
that.
Incredible.
Very that.
Very good.
That'd be great.
Make it happen.
Somebody make that happen. If
Get in the
it doesn't
comments,
exist. Get in
as
the
Brennan Lee
comments.
Mulligan would say. Get in the comments and make it happen.
Okay. All right. I'm rolling to see the
Yeah.
next story.
Last one. Last one for this main vibe.
Really?
Two.
Two. Do.
Yeah, because we got a lot of content.
All right.
here.
This one is from r/need advice. Title is Girl in my art school copies all my stuff. How do I cope? I study art in my class, and there's a girl that has started to copy all my stuff. She seems really insecure, but also loud and egotistic at the same time and incredibly competitive. It first started out with her asking me about my art supplies, pencils, paints, whatever you can think of. She asked me about it. Then she'd go away and buy all of those things in bulk.
Good.
Okay.
I have a nice oil pencil. She has the entire set. I have a cool comic magazine. She ordered 20 issues. There are limited private lessons with the teacher. She takes as many slots as possible, and some students don't even get any because of it. Then she flipped through my sketchbook and asked for tutorials, so I sent her a few. She would copy entire concepts of my sketchbook into her own. All of this didn't bother me too much, but today I found out that she copied my entire concept for an upcoming 2-month project and started before me. She slightly changed it, of course, but it's still pretty much my whole idea. The thing is, we'll be applying to the same art school, and I wanted this concept to be a big part of my portfolio. Now she took it, and it makes me feel really helpless, but I don't want to be a bitch and start this stupid fight over this. I don't know what to do. She makes the entire working atmosphere in the studio into a competitive race. She has to have more. She has to be better. And it makes me sick. I can't really hide my work from her because we are in the same class. How do I cope with this? It stresses me out so much, and I would really like to realize my concept and for her to think of her own stuff.
So I'm gonna ask the question that I ask. Well, we're all educators in some capacity. That I would ask my students.
Mm-hmm.
Have you told your professor/instructor about any of this? Because I guarantee you, if you let them know, here's the context, even just show them this post, and you're like, hey, if you do a check-in on this 2-month project and you see similarities, that's why. Like, for the most part, teachers, instructors, professors aren't fucking idiots.
Usually.
Usually, for the most part, like they're human beings just like we are. And if you were like, hey, like honest, like if this is a college level class, like that's academic integrity. Like that's violating like copyright to a certain extent, as well as just like it's essentially plagiarism at a certain point. Like not buying all the same crap as you, like that is manageable enough.
That's just resources.
But it's like, you know, if it's that blatant that it's like, yeah, she changed it enough, but I can tell based on everything else, like, hey, tell your freaking teacher, because they're gonna suss that out and be like, gotta make something different. Yeah.
Any thoughts, Brandon?
The thing that really stood out to me that I have a question about, I guess, is not even a question, just a concern, is that they're taking up this person is taking up all of like the slots with the teacher.
Yeah.
Like a coaching.
That's
and like
actually something that somebody commented on.
yeah, because like why would the teacher let that happen? Like I mean, like again, like when I was doing like writing stuff, like you could have like office hours and stuff that you could sign up to go to and get feedback, but you couldn't sign up for more than like one. Like maybe if there were additionals, they might bring it up again later, but like I couldn't sign up for like 4 in 1 week to go hang out and like talk about this stuff. Cause like, again, it's not sustainable and it's not fair to other students. So I was like, that's a little odd.
You guys are pretty much similar to what people are commenting in Reddit. To kind of respond to what Rachel said, the first and top comment is you should go get the tutor or teacher to intercede on your behalf. Plagiarism is not on at all, and it will likely be viewed quite badly.
Yeah, no, like if it's a I don't know. This student didn't specify if it was college or.
It seemed like they were getting ready to like apply for art school. Is what they said.
So if it's not collegial yet, like there's not any sanctions or like things that they could potentially do if it's like grade school.
Yeah.
But if it is, you can get some seriously bad consequences.
There's a lot of academic integrity and like plagiarism policies in a lot of major institutions.
It's like it's part of the legal process.
Yeah.
Like Supreme Court cases have been surrounding these kinds of things because of like academic integrity and like because similar things happen with like research all the time. And I took a whole class.
So our advice is take them to the Supreme Court.
Yep, that's
exactly
the advice. And then kind of in your vein of thought, it's like the one comment that's kind of later down and is responded to by the OP is, why is the teacher giving all of their slots to give private lessons to this person and ignores the rest?
Yeah,
and
it's
somebody
weird.
said, well, the original poster was like, it's a first come, first serve kind of system, and you can book 1 to 3 lessons. There are exactly as many lessons as there are students. To be fair, it is a crappy system, but everyone else just knows that you don't book 3 slots and ask the teacher for even more. We all would just take 1 out of respect. Well, I guess not her.
Yeah.
And the last comment on that thread is just like, that just seems suspicious in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a bad system.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't know what to do there. I mean,
honestly,
it's like,
I think there are better strategies that you could maybe come up with the instructor. And, with that information of like plagiarism, that's a conversation that you can kind of bring up. They might know of specific policies within your school. They might also just have resources and maybe just have power to speak with that other student without really like having you to take the brunt of it, because like, you are just a student trying to figure stuff out. Like,
yeah,
you have some resources here that maybe are untapped if you haven't broached them before, and I say utilize them.
I think it matters a bit too, like what the other person's intent is, right?
Yes.
Like, are they just trying to get through art class in high school?
yeah.
Like, are
Or
they
is
like,
it like,
well,
hey,
they're
I want to
both
go to a prestigious
They're both
school.
applying to art school.
Well, see,
the same one.
therein lies the issue, right? Where it's like now you need to have like very clear conversations with your instructor and be like, we're both applying to art school, but like this person is
stealing.
I feel, using everything I do as inspiration for what they're doing. And so I don't know art school processes. I assume there's an application that goes with it and there's likely recommendations with it. So it's like that person, I feel, would have a harder time getting a recommendation from their art teacher.
Sure.
If like the only work that they know is
somebody else's
and taken from what they do, or, at least like they don't have their own original prompts or ideas that they're building onto and going off of. It's, whatever. Because like it's one thing to like see something as art and be like, oh, okay, now I'm inspired. I want to make something, even derivative of it, or just that, is inspiration. But it's a second thing to just be like, see someone to be like, I'm going to start there and I'm going to do something a little different.
Yeah, because like in the post, there's just like, oh, I gave her tutorials and she copied the exact process.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in that case, it's like, all right, we need to start thinking about like how we create ideas on our own and like how we can avoid maybe having those correlate with other people.
Right.
Because that's the whole point in like copyright law and also just plagiarism in general with any, academic work. So
yeah, conversations need to be had for sure.
Surely.
At
And
minimum.
teacher needs to be
involved.
In the loop.
involved and advocating for integrity
Also,
and other things.
Hey, teacher, what if you just instituted the policy of you only get 1 slot, not 1 to 3?
That just seems like a lot of work.
No,
Also, we don't know.
It's not a lot. Here's the thing. It's not a lot lot of work.
No,
It's
I'm saying
monitoring
it's a lot of work to do 1 to 3 lessons per student.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That
yes.
just seems like a lot of work that's really unnecessary. But I also don't know how the school's set up. Like, maybe they need to offer that. Like, that's just a policy. Or maybe that's just a model that they're following. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's just pedagogical nightmare
Yes,
at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at that point, I'd be like, okay, you have this week to sign up for a slot, and
here's my
if
time.
no one
Figure it
signs
out.
up at the end of the week, if there's still slots, sign up for more.
Or do them in
Like-
groups.
Yeah.
Small group sessions.
That can be really helpful.
That could
Depending
be
on how it
really-
goes, yeah.
depending on how like what your
Needs and stuff.
Yeah, well, depending on the need and depending on what you can and can't do in
Yep.
those.
Yeah.
There's some other options, instructor. Just explore them.
Step up.
Step up, bestie. So yeah, I think that's where we should wrap for
Yeah.
today.
Should we do the D4 wrap up?
Yeah.
Do we have that table? I have a D4 on the.
Yes. So let's give the people some context. So before we wrap up, every time we are going to have what's called the D4 wrap up, where, what do we do?
So we're gonna roll to see who does the wrap up, and then what you're doing to wrap it up. So we'll roll a D6 to figure out between the 3 of us who is doing the wrap up, and then a D4 to like see what you're
the wrap-up
specifically
is.
doing, like ask a question or like give a recommendation, stuff like that. So
And then we also, after that, will roll for next week's topic.
correct.
And the person who is doing the wrap up will do the roll.
editor, you can put like all the tables with all the things of the wrap up, and then
Shout out
like
Meep.
shout out to me.
I'm just setting up the camera so people can see.
All right, and now we're gonna do who's doing the wrap up.
It's a 3. Okay, so that means I'm doing the wrap up. And I have my D4 right here. Hello. And depending on what it is,
That's what we'll do.
see. Okay, ready? That
3.
is a 3. You can't see it, but it's a 3. Here, share it with the camera. There it is. Okay, so 3. Okay. Throwback to a memory or hint at the future. Remember when we started this podcast?
Do you
Right
remember
now.
building this room?
Remember building this room?
Yeah.
Building this room was a time.
Built this house.
Wow.
Built this city on rock and roll.
Yeah. We didn't build the house. We did put the
No.
room together, though.
We did.
It's a work in progress still.
It sure is.
I like Fred.
This wall might change.
This wall will change.
We're hinting to the future. The
Hinting-
walls will change.
The walls
Yeah,
will change.
This wall will change for sure. This wall will change in some way. We're not quite
We're not
on
married
that
to
one
it.
yet, but this one will be different next time.
This plant might or may or may not be here.
Fred will live forever.
Yeah, he's
In
fake.
the future, there might even be a 3rd camera.
Whoa.
I
Wow.
fucking know.
Also, lots of fun episodes will be in the
Lots of
future.
fun episodes, guys. Like this is our first one for the public, and as we've stated, we've got some more stories for Patreon,
True.
Yeah.
which I anticipate we'll be filming soon.
Yeah.
And those ones, I still have a really spicy story I have yet to
Yeah,
share.
head on to
Same.
the Patreon. It's $5 for exclusive content and possibly like episodes early. We're trying to figure that out, but definitely lots of exclusive content that you can
Lots
check
of
out there.
extras.
So
Yeah.
feel free to head over there. You can also follow us on all social medias. We're at chat_roulette on
Hand me a
a lot of
D20.
different things. So
Yeah.
we'll go
rolling
ahead
for the
and
topic.
roll on the rolling table topics to see what we're gonna do for next week.
Okay. Let me pull it up. It's this one.
We gotta get all the tables. and
We're not
spreadsheets.
prepared. This is the first time, and we're gonna get into a better flow of it.
It's all good.
Yep. Oh my god, that was so chaotic. What is it?
15.
15.
That is the Paranormal Stories cast. Ooh.
Maybe we'll turn down them lights and only talk
Mood
with
lighting.
We could.
We'll see what we can do.
Well,
Yeah. We'll figure it out. But I love a good spooky story.
I love
Spooky.
spookies. So
Spooky.
get ready. We're gonna do all things spooky, scary, paranormal, and we'll talk with you soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see ya on the flippity flop.
Play the outro, Meep.